Alright, let's dive into a story that's been making headlines recently, but I want to approach it from a different angle. You've probably heard about the Gann Fire in Calaveras County, California, a wildfire that's caused massive destruction, evacuations, and even the loss of homes. But here's the twist: the man accused of starting it, Herbert Wayne Smith, claims it was all a terrible accident. And honestly, this story raises so many questions about accountability, human error, and the ripple effects of a single moment. So, let's break it down. First off, what makes this really interesting is the human element behind it. Smith, a 65-year-old man from Valley Springs, was just trying to earn some extra cash on his birthday to take his wife out for dinner. He was cutting scraps with a saw when, according to him, things went horribly wrong. Personally, I think this detail humanizes the story in a way that's both tragic and relatable. We've all had moments where we are just trying to do something simple, and it spirals out of control. But here's the thing: when that something involves fire, the consequences are devastating. It's a stark reminder of how fragile our control over nature really is. Now, let's talk about Smith's reaction. He's repeatedly apologized, saying, "I'm so sorry for everything that's happened." And he's not just apologizing to the authorities, he's apologizing to everyone affected by the fire. From my perspective, this isn't just a PR move, it feels genuine. He's a guy who was trying to do something nice for his wife, and now he's facing criminal charges and the possibility of his life being destroyed, as he put it. What this really suggests is that sometimes, good intentions can lead to catastrophic outcomes. And that's a lesson we all need to sit with. But here's where it gets complicated. Cal Fire arrested Smith for recklessly causing the fire, and he's facing charges related to allowing the fire to spread and operating machinery without clearance. One thing that immediately stands out is the legal gray area here. Was it truly reckless, or was it an honest mistake? What many people don't realize is that the law often doesn't care about intent when it comes to wildfires. If your actions caused the fire, you're on the hook. And that raises a deeper question: should there be more nuance in how we handle cases like this? Or is the strict liability approach necessary to deter negligence? Now, let's zoom out for a second. The Gann Fire has burned over 9,000 acres, forced evacuations, and even led to federal funding being approved to combat it. Schools have been cancelled due to poor air quality, and hundreds of residents have been threatened. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a perfect example of the butterfly effect. One small action, cutting scraps with a saw, triggered a chain of events that impacted thousands of lives. It's a humbling reminder of how interconnected we all are, and how our actions, no matter how minor they seem, can have far-reaching consequences. A detail I find fascinating is how Smith's story has been covered. The media has focused on his remorse and his claim that it was an accident, but there's also a lot of public sympathy for him. People are commenting things like, "He didn't mean to," or "He's already suffering enough." And that's where it gets tricky. On one hand, empathy is important, he's clearly devastated by what happened. On the other hand, the law has to balance that empathy with the need for accountability. Personally, I think this case is going to spark a lot of debate about how we handle accidental wildfires, and whether there's room for leniency in situations like this. So, what's the bigger takeaway here? In my opinion, it's this: wildfires are often framed as natural disasters, but many of them are caused by human activity, whether intentional or not. And that means we all have a role to play in preventing them. It's not just about being careful with fire, it's about understanding the potential consequences of our actions, even when we are just trying to do something good. Smith's story is a tragic reminder of that. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought: what if it had been you? What if, in trying to do something kind or practical, you accidentally caused something catastrophic? How would you handle the guilt, the legal fallout, the public scrutiny? It's a sobering question, and one that I think we should all reflect on. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about Herbert Wayne Smith, or the Gann Fire, it's about the fragility of our actions and the weight of their consequences. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below.